Are you a woman of faith who is struggling to navigate your current season of life? Do you feel like life is just happening to you instead of for you? My name is Jill Pack. I'm a certified life coach and a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I want you to know that no matter your season or circumstance, it is possible to create a more joyful life. And I would love to show you how. Are you ready? Let's go. Hello, friends. Welcome to the Seasons of Joy podcast. This is episode number 20, entitled Story Turns. Now, before I begin, I wanted to tell you about two things. Both are invitations. One's a reminder invitation, and one is an announcement invitation. So first, the reminder, join my Seasons of Joy Facebook group. I would love to have you in there. In here, I'm going to share tips and tools that will help you create more joy in your life. I also go live in there where I do some live teaching and coaching, and it's a safe community that I created for women of faith to learn, grow, and support each other through our different seasons of life. And second, I am so excited to announce that I am going to be holding my first ever retreat this fall. It is called an Awakening Retreat, and it's going to be held October 6th, 7th, and 8th in Garden City, Utah, right next to Bear Lake. Now, fall is a beautiful time to be there, and it's going to be amazing. And I want to share with you 3 reasons why I believe you need an in-person retreat this year. Number 1, this retreat experience is going to take place at this incredible newly built farmhouse. I have limited it to 15 attendees in order to create an intimate experience that will awaken your soul and ignite your inspiration. This is an opportunity for you to refocus on what is important to you. Number 2, this retreat experience will allow you the opportunity to reconnect with you, strengthening the relationship that you have with yourself. You may also connect with old friends if you decide to have some of them join you for this retreat, and or connect with new friends that you meet while you're there, while at the same time reconnecting with God and feeling divine love. And number 3, finally, this retreat experience allows you the opportunity to rejuvenate by using this time to fill your cup, find clarity, and refuel so that you can go back home with the energy and the tools that will help you create more joy in your life. I would love to have you join me. So to join the wait list, just click on the link in the show notes and I will send you more information as we get closer. Now, story turns. Last week I talked about Andy Andrews' book, The Butterfly Effect, How Your Life Matters, as well as how a life purpose isn't about what we are doing, but why we are doing it. I believe our whys are what makes up our life purpose. Your life purpose is worth discovering. It can serve as a powerful compass in your life and give meaning to everything you do, to your life experiences, your work, your trials, your roles, your relationships. Your purpose is the filter for your decisions and your choices. You have unique gifts and talents and abilities that you will discover as you become more clear around your purpose. Clarity of purpose helps you on your individual journey of growth and personal development, and it opens you up to the whisperings of the Spirit, getting inspiration around ways that you can contribute that are uniquely you. You have a part to play. Now, as we enter new seasons, different seasons of life, we can actually have a sense of discouragement because we're in unfamiliar and uncharted territory. We've never been in this season before, and we don't know what to do. That's totally normal, and nothing is wrong. But this can lead us to comparing ourselves to others, believing that we don't have anything to contribute. But this isn't true. We each have something unique to offer the world. We each have a part to play in this amazing, miraculous world. Now, if you're feeling confused and you don't know what your purpose is, again, that's totally normal. And I want to share with you a way that you can begin discovering your life purpose. Now, it is an exercise that I learned from Brooke Snow, who originally learned it from Donald Miller. And he calls it creating your life plan. But I am going to call it the life purpose discovery process because I like that name better. So this process begins by writing down and reviewing some of the impactful turns in your life and again, this is part of the purpose discovery. We each have stories, right? Our lives are made up of stories, which are made up of experiences that are made up of turns, right? So we have a life and there are experiences and they're made up of these different turns that we take in our life because of these experiences. Some of these turns we would consider negative and some of them we would consider positive. A story turn is basically an event or an experience that takes place after which you will never be the same. Now, these stories are subjective. One person may view an event as a minor turn, while someone else may consider it a major life turn. Both of these turns, these types of turns, are beautiful pieces to the tapestry of our lives. They make up the beautiful life that we have. Now, a negative story turn might be a diagnosis, a divorce, an unplanned pregnancy, a falling out with someone you care about, or a loss of a loved one. And a positive story turn might be the making of a lifelong friend when you were 15, or meeting your spouse, or obtaining an education, moving for a job opportunity, or becoming a parent. We each have these story turns in our lives, and we each view them differently. But if we can pause, get curious in order to get a little more perspective, we may discover patterns or a reoccurring theme through these negative and positive turns in our story. If you were to look at your life story right now, what have the events in your life prepared you for? Where in your story can you see God's hand? Do you notice any patterns or themes in the stories you tell about your life? Now, by theme, I mean something like, could be a theme like, I am an example of what is possible, or God strengthens me, or God uses me to show compassion for others, or I love sharing the light of Christ, or God uses me to lift others, or I create to add beauty to the world. Right? These different story turns in our lives, if we look back, we may discover a theme. So for me, my theme that I could see as I looked back at my story turns is that God uses me to create joy through connecting, teaching, and loving. I've spoken about that point in my life when I was wondering what my purpose was. I had just entered a new season, this empty nester season. This was a story turn for me, and it changed the trajectory of my life to where I am now. But that was not the only story turn in my life, and it will definitely not be the last. But reviewing what I believe were significant story turns in my life, I've actually gained a clearer vision of my purpose, my why. I wanted to share with you a few of my story turns that I discovered as I did this exercise. And this isn't all of them by any means, but it will give you an idea of what I mean by story turns. Now, when I was in junior high, I had a childhood friend. We were best friends. We played together. We had gone through elementary school together, and we were good friends. But one day, in junior high, she began to distance herself and she made new friends. And I found myself outside of that circle of friends and I felt hurt and I was a little bit lost. But soon I found a new group of friends. And these beautiful friends have shaped and strengthened and loved me over the years. These friends are actually like sisters to me. This was a big story turn for me. Now, I danced most of my younger life. I went on to dance in high school and on into college. I tried out, made the dance team at Utah State, and this helped me pay for part of my tuition. Now, college wasn't something that my family necessarily pushed. My parents didn't go to college, and I wouldn't say it was discouraged, but I don't know that it was necessarily encouraged. It was something I decided to do, and they supported me, right? But I had made the decision to go to college. That was a story turn. And again, no one in my immediate family had graduated from college at that point. It was something new. Now, college life was definitely a time for learning and growing. I made decisions and lived some consequences that were hard. But that turn set me on a path of my own personal faith journey and led me to discover and connect deeply with my Savior Jesus Christ and His grace. A big story turn for me. Because of dance, I was able to meet my future husband, the love of my life, on a van ride to California. He was driving the college dance team to a summer dance camp, and his best friend was the athletic vice president, and he was able to get my husband and some of his friends this sweet gig, paid gig, of driving. I don't even remember how many of us there were, but 12 or something, 12 to 15 college-age girls to California to the dance camp. This was a fun story turn to meet him. But this led to another story turn of an unplanned pregnancy. And after much heartache and struggle, we decided to marry and work through this new story turn together. Sticking it out even in the hard times and the doubts. This refining story turn led to a deep connection and a better understanding of divine love, forgiveness, patience, compassion, empathy, grace, and 5 beautiful children. Now, after my husband and I were married only for a few months, we ended up moving to Canada for a year. We had this new baby, and we lived away from most of our family. There were some lonely times. Not only was I trying to navigate this new marriage, but also a new baby, having a new baby. This story turn was not easy, but we learned to be there for each other. We became best friends and partners because we only had each other. Now, a few years later, we had another story turn. We moved to Mendon. We decided to build a home here. We have lived here since 1994. And over the years, I've had the opportunity, because we decided to move here, to connect with some of the most amazing women. Many are still here influencing my life to this day. Some others have moved on to different places. Others have moved to different seasons of their life. But all have greatly influenced who I am today. Women of goodness, of faith, testimony, compassion, and who supported me through my different seasons of life, from young married to raising toddlers and teens, and now in this empty nesting season of life, right? A story turn of connecting with people. My love of adventure and the outdoors created a story turn that has connected me to some other beautiful souls that have lifted and encouraged me not only on the road or the trail, but in life. This has increased my time in nature and actually fortified and strengthened my belief in and relationship with God. A few years ago, my sisters and I had to step in and care for our aging parents. This was a big story turn. There were some really hard parts and some really beautiful parts. There are still lessons and growing that are happening right now in this current story turn. And finally, the story turn when I decided to listen to a life coaching podcast, getting curious and applying what I learned to change my life experience in this new season of my life. This has led me to learn and grow in a way that I never knew was possible, learning and sharing tools that help me create better connections with myself, with others, and with God. allowing me to embrace the beauty and joy of life. So I want to share with you 3 steps to creating your purpose discovery process. Step number 1, make a list of all the events in your life that you feel like have impacted you some way. Now, they may be decisions that you made or decisions of others, but just write these events down that have created story turns for you. Step number 2, describe how those events have influenced you both negatively and positively. Both are important. Both play a beautiful part of discovering your purpose. And step number 3, apply the pause principle that I teach in episode 2, 3, and 4. And here's a brief review of that. How to apply that. First, pause to process. So once you have everything written down and you've described it and you look at how it's influenced you, you may need to pause to process some emotions that come up for you. Because sometimes as we review these events in our lives, some of them bring up some painful emotion, some uncomfortable emotions. And this exercise may do that, right? All kinds of emotions are going to come up, but it's so important to allow them to be, welcome those emotions in so that they can help you live with intention, so that you can move forward as you are discovering your purpose. Now, for me, as I examined the different story turns in my life, some of those story turns brought with them some big emotions that I have shoved away for many years. But by allowing myself to acknowledge them and to feel them, I've actually been able to heal through them. The next step, pause to ponder. And in this situation, you're going to ponder on what the common themes or patterns that you can see. Get really curious. Think about it. Be open to what could be possible. What can you see there? Now, for me, I could see a theme of connecting with others. I could see a pattern of creating joy in whatever circumstance I found myself in. Now, I'm not suggesting that I didn't struggle in the middle of those turns, but I worked to get to joy. And finally, pause to protect. Now, I want you to consider where you are currently in your life right now. Are you in line with the purpose you have discovered? Are you living in alignment with that purpose? Or is there something that you want to change? Or is there something that you want to start doing that will help you live your life purpose? And then how can you protect that life purpose that you want to live in and the life that you want to create? So for me, I want to help others reconnect with themselves, with other people, and with God in order to create more joy in their lives. And I do this by teaching them tools and concepts that I have learned that have helped me personally. So my why is I want to put good and help others find joy. And I do this by teaching and coaching, right? We are that we might have joy. And I created a podcast, I write a weekly blog, I teach classes, I coach. I'm always learning and growing so that I can share more. So my why is I want to help others. And my what are the things that I just listed. Now, as I understood more of what my purpose is and what my why is, I need to protect what I value, what is important to me. And sometimes that means saying no to things that aren't helping me live in my purpose. And other times it's me saying yes to things that feel big and scary, but are totally aligned with my why. Now, through all the twists and turns of life, joy can be found no matter the season or circumstance that you find yourself in when you can find your why. Now, reviewing the turns in my life, I can see the beauty in all of it. I embrace all of it. I love all of it, because it's made me who I am today. And I can see more clearly where I'm going and what I want to create moving forward, living with purpose, passion, and reaching for what is possible. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you hear, I would love it if you would share it with your friends and family and leave me a rating and review. If you'd like to learn more about what life coaching is, please schedule a free discovery call with me where we can work together through something that's causing you a problem. Just go to my website, seasons-coaching.com, and you can also find information about my Seasons of Joy one-on-one coaching program and my Seasons of Joy community. Have a joyful week, and I'll see you next time.